Always a good time on the Black Announce table. You know the vibes. So let's get into it, bro.
Let's do it. Listen, this is a very good week for professional wrestling. So much has happened. So many announcements. So much breaking news. I was looking at my Twitter feed this whole week, and I'm like, damn, it's active now. You know, we got NXT wrapping up on USA Network.
Yep.
You know, SmackDown starting up on the USA Network. Raw's getting ready to wrap up. Everything's getting into motion. It's a lot happening. I feel like everybody's moving. Like, you know, you're packing all the bags, making sure everything's put away properly.
Right.
We're here to make sure we're labeling these boxes as we go.
Word. We need to get that deposit back. You feel me? You need to get that deposit back. Word up.
Putting the duct tape on the wall, painting over it, just doing what you got to do.
Word, facts.
Speaking of somebody who's not going to get their deposit.
Oh, nah.
Vince McMahon. We're doing a watch along for the first episode.
Not presented by Four Loko.
Yo, shout out to the good folks at Four Loko. I was shocked that they were down to make this happen.
Wow.
But yes, the watch along is happening. We're only going to do the first episode. I believe it's 6 parts. So listen, I got a new job. I don't got time to watch 6 parts all in one sitting. I'm a marketer now. You know, I got to get these creative juices flowing.
Well, congrats, bro. Congrats on the new gig.
I appreciate that.
All the best, brother.
Chicken, you know, the greatest chicken spot in New York. Just the absolute best. You know, if you want chicken tenders, go to Stickies.
Yes, sir.
Not an ad. But yes, so we're gonna watch the first episode live. I believe on YouTube, right, KP? It's not just on Patreon. I'm assuming yes. If he oh, it's gonna be on Patreon. Yeah, because I felt like we can't just be watching something on YouTube like that. But
oh yeah, nah.
Patreon exclusive. So make sure you subscribe to our Patreon if you haven't already. You know, we got the OG tier for $5, the CDL starter pack, which somebody's gonna need in this documentary for $10, you know. And then the Big Buford for $20. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon, watch the watch along. It's gonna be a great time, I hope. Or maybe not a good time. I don't know. It's a doc. Who knows what's in it? But ahead of the doc, to do some damage control, Vince has released a statement. Jeff, what do you think about this doc? Once again, every time we bring up this topic, I think it's interesting that Netflix is the one putting out this doc, knowing that in a couple months they're going to be launching Raw. So, like, what are your thoughts on this doc and this whole rollout?
Yeah, I think first off, if you're going to create a documentary by anybody in the wrestling world, it's got to be Vince McMahon, for better, for worse, for indifferent, right? I think the first episode starts off with him getting the call about the last allegation that popped off, right? Mm. So they had to extend it because he was embroiled in more BS. You know what I mean? Like that's how crazy and how mind-boggling some of this stuff is that he's been alleged of, and just the totality of his life. I think it's gonna be a fascinating watch. I wonder if it's gonna shed light on things that we haven't heard before. Is it gonna be repackaged old information, new information, some stuff sprinkled in? A lot of it from his perspective and from other people around him. I'm interested. I'm really interested to see how he's portrayed. With that statement, it sounds like he don't think he's portrayed good at all. Yeah. And you know it's got to be nuts when he makes mention in the statement that they try to portray him as the Mr. McMahon character when he's just Vince. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking back like, fam, I'd rather be Mr. McMahon than Vince right now. Let's keep it a buck. If you had a choice to be Mr. McMahon or Vince McMahon right now, who would you be? I'd rather be Mr. McMahon because everybody knows it's a character. Not life imitating art.
I didn't even think about it that way. Yo, Jeff, you are so correct. That is one of the best. I never even thought about it that way. Like, yeah, we all know that Vince is just like a shitty person. Mr. McMahon is a shitty person. What Vince is, from all these allegations and all these things that have been coming out, It's way worse. It's what you would 100% rather be Mr. McMahon than Vince. But I do think that whoever came up with this statement, this is, I guess, the best route. Like with what they were saying in the statement, he said, I don't regret participating in this Netflix documentary. The producers had an opportunity to tell an objective story about my life, an incredible business I built, which were equally filled with excitement, drama, fun, and a fair amount of controversy and life lessons. Unfortunately, based on an early partial cut I've seen, this doc falls short and takes the predictable path of conflating. Does that say conflating? I can't.
Yeah.
These are some small ass letters, KP. Conflating the Mr. McMahon character with my true self, Vince. The title and promos alone make that evident. A lot has been misrepresented or left out entirely in an effort to leave viewers intentionally confused. The producers use typical editing tricks without I thought was one word, but I guess with out of context footage and dated sound bites, etc., to distort the viewer's perception and support a deceptive narrative. Now, before, I don't even know if I want to finish, but let me just finish to give them the benefit of the doubt. Wait, put that up, KP, one more time. Not benefit of the doubt, but let me just, I don't want to mix up his words or anything, but he, in an attempt to further their misleading account, the producers use a lawsuit based on an affair I ended as evidence that I am, in fact, Mr. McMahon. I hope the viewer will keep an open mind and remember that there are two sides to every story. So with that statement, I'm like, all right, well, obviously the interviews and everything like that were probably all mostly done before most of what has come out. So I wouldn't doubt that they're going to be using some things with the new context of what we're getting now,
Right,
and try to piece together their version of this puzzle. Is that messed up? Probably, because it shapes narratives and, it gives us misleading information. But the facts are going to be the facts at the end of the day. And hopefully the facts are presented well in this documentary, and this isn't just something that we thought would be one thing, and then when we watch it, we're like, oh, it was just an actual documentary about Mr. McMahon.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and I wonder who in the history of documentaries, while they're still living, biographies, whatever who's actually happy with their portrayal? 100% happy, right? Like I take stuff like the A&E biographies on the wrestlers. Like they did one on Roman Reigns, heavily editorialized by him and narrated by him. But like those are more of celebrations, right? Documentary is supposed to be down the middle. We're giving you the facts. We're giving you the facts and the perspectives from both sides. So if he's sick that they included his case, then maybe he shouldn't have caught the case by the time it came out. You know what I mean? Like they're going to do that. Any journalist or anybody who's putting together a documentary, any director or producer worth their weight would not have left it out unless it was getting ready to publish and there was nothing else they could do. From what I understand, they pretty much had it done and then all this stuff broke, but they had so much lead time before the release that they could add in these extra scenes and tie it together narratively however they needed to tie it. So I just wonder I feel like people who have these documentaries made about themselves, especially when it's a documentary, I feel like they're not always 100% happy with it.
Yeah.
Because of course, you're collecting multiple perspectives outside of your own. And what some people fail to grasp is other people's perception of you may not be the same as how you perceive yourself.
Yep.
Some people may see you as a bad person or highlight your faults that you may either deny about yourself or you don't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
And so
or you
then
just
when you see
you think it's a whole different you can view the same exact thing a whole different way, and now it's one of those type of things.
Right. It's like, yo, every person walking this planet is the villain in someone's story.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do not deserve to be. You could have a newborn baby be the villain in someone else's story because that baby got here as a result of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that baby's innocent as hell. Right? But they're a villain because they were a result of something of harm or emotional distress or some type of trust being broken between two other people.
Yeah.
So now that, for example, so you're going to get, and in those documentaries, you're going to get two different sides. You're going to, in order to tell a complete story. So yeah, I could totally get where he may feel like they framed it a certain way to try to make it seem like Vince was actually living Mr. McMahon's raps. But when you look at everything that's been said and reported, I mean, are they fronting? Are they fronting? That's a natural conclusion anybody would make. And even with all of that, I would rather be the cartoonish villain that's fictional than be portrayed as a real one.
Mm-hmm. Easily. And with that being said, it's like also if the documentary, I wonder, because he said that he watched a cut of the documentary. He didn't even watch the final version. If the documentary ends up just being, you know, the thing that he thought it would be, and then at the end, maybe there's like, you know, 10, 15 minutes, like, yo, by the way, while filming, this is what we learned. And it's not even like, so he's gonna look so stupid. If I'm them, I would put out the original version and just add some stuff at the end. That way, you know, he just shoots himself in the foot. Like, yo, look at how guilty he's feeling with all these things going on. But like, to answer your question earlier, who has been happy with their biography or documentary about their lives? Michael Jordan's the only person who has really had the best documentary.
And why was that?
We were all stuck at home. Plus, he had final say in every moment that was on those
creative control, baby.
And this is one of the times where Vince is gonna realize, besides, you know, in the WWE, when he had to give up creative control when all these things came out, hey, this doc is another instance. So somebody who's been in you know, controlling everything, it's been the past 2-3 years of nothing in his control. And now he's trying to, you know, use these PR stunts and, you know, selling all his shares to get all this money to get some sort of control back. And right now he's noticing that the money ain't hitting the same. He tried to allegedly from, I want to get it right, just in case, you know, it's misreported, we can put those people at fault. Puck News has reported that Vince tried to buy back the doc from Netflix. Now, Netflix, I wouldn't be shocked if they probably spent like a couple million, and a couple million is a lot of money, you know, but to Netflix, they spend billions of dollars on entertainment. Vince would probably have paid anything because, you know, he got these extra billions of dollars from selling all his shares. He would have paid anything to just get this doc from Netflix. Netflix saying no shows that whoever the powers that be really want people to understand, like, yo, he's not our man's no more. This is our thing. We have new people in charge. Look, go into 2025 with a new slate. You know, there's a whole different era.
Facts.
Because
not to mention it sets a horrible precedent for future creators who want to bring their documentaries to Netflix. If the subjects of the documentaries can just name their price to gain creative control, why would I want Netflix to be the distributor of my work? Because then it could just be changed and misconstrued and altered at the last minute by people with more power than me. So I think there's multiple business decisions being made by Netflix in this regard.
Oh, easily. I think Tiger Woods would have brought back his doc from HBO. That HBO doc, listen, Tiger Woods definitely wanted no parts in all of that. But it shows. I do enjoy that all these companies stand on business, because I feel like documentaries are one of the legs that all these companies stand on, especially when it comes to entertainment. Everybody loves a good doc.
Right.
So the fact that they standing strong and going, nah, we not gonna let it. We'll lose money on this. We don't care, but we gotta let it happen, because
That's
we
a
don't
fact.
want to destroy the integrity of these things. And Netflix is doing. Listen, these are billions of dollars that they're investing into the WWE. So I think they hope that this works more than anybody else in the world. Like that this works out. But that's our thoughts on the doc. This is the last time we're going to be talking about it before we do the live Patreon viewing, the watch along for the first episode. And then, the episode following that, we're going to talk about the rest of the 5 episodes. I'm excited to see what happens. But let's talk about the rest of the week of professional wrestling. Or let's just get into some topics, and we'll get into the week that was. But all right. Our favorite Hell in a Cell matches. Jeff, we got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre coming up. The Hell in a Cell.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite matches. Like, listen, because growing up I had the Hell in a Cell, toy that you could do the action figure. So I was always a Hell in a Cell guy. But what are some of your favorite Hell in a Cell moments?
Well, first off, you go call me a Mark if you want. I don't care. Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell. He broke him in half, threw him off the top of the cage. And this is at a time where I'm watching ECW, I'm watching all that stuff, and I still had to clutch my pearls at 98 King of the Ring, watching that happen, right? Like, it was insane to think. And that was just one of the high spots. Then Undertaker choke slams Foley through the cage, tombstones him. He has his tooth through his nose. He
smiling
through the pain, put a hole in his tongue. Like, that dude he was Dilate before Dilate. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude was it, bro. And he set the table. Hell in a Cell would not be Hell in a Cell if it wasn't for that match.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, they were the predecessors of it, no doubt. But it became that gruesome, death-inviting spectacular when Mankind went 20 feet off the cage. One of the greatest stuntmen in the history of wrestling. Mick Foley. That's one of my favorites for sure.
I think every indie promotion that does all those crazy spots has that match to thank. Like, whenever you think about all these promotions where they're doing all these high stunts, these high spots and stuff like that, I think that's the rush that they're looking for. That Mankind Undertaker moment. It really, that's not even a great Hell in a Cell match of all time. That's one of the biggest matches of all time.
Facts.
That took the WWE to the next level. Like, when you really think about it. So I definitely agree with that. I'm trying to think, besides that one, the original Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and I think wasn't that the debut of Kane? Like, he ripped the door off.
That was Michaels Undertaker, yeah.
That absolute classic moment. And then I feel like Undertaker is just gonna have all of the greatest Hell in a Cell, like Undertaker, Triple H,
with Shawn as the ref.
Exactly.
I think that was 28, WrestleMania 28.
Either 27 or 28. I mean, to have an instant classic at a Mania is one thing. To put it in a Hell in a Cell is a whole nother. Like, now you're elevating it, and then they all go out, and it's like, yo, they just killed each other in this ring. And
Facts.
Now look at them. I mean, oh my God. Hell in a Cell. Now that I think about it, one of the best gimmick matches.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Undertaker definitely has a spot in a lot of people's top fives. top 5 top matches. But even recently, man, because I was looking up Hell in a Cell matches, and when WWE went through that era where everybody settled beef in Hell in a Cell, that's when it got watered down for me. Because I'm like, damn, your beef isn't even that real. That shit ain't smoke. That shit is like a pluff. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the hell y'all fighting in Hell in a Cell for. It's like it's like powder. You know what I mean? That shit ain't even smoke, it's powder. But yeah, I like a couple from this current era. Roman and Jey, the I Quit match.
Oh, yes.
The origins of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
The origins of Bloodline cinema.
Roman's talking his shit,
bruh.
You know, mid-match.
Bruh. That match, what was that? What was that? Hell in a Cell during COVID year, during the pandemic lockdown year. And then, of course, Cody Seth.
Oh.
Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view 2022 with a torn freaking pec.
Takes
Cody
the jacket off.
Seth went out there and put on a classic, bro.
My God, when Cody took that jacket off and you hear the whole crowd go, "Oh my!" The collective gasp is one of the weirdest sounds I've ever heard, like from a crowd, where everybody is just shocked.
I swore I heard somebody in back like, "Oh nah!"
Yes. Oh my God!
Because and then he's taking off. He's slipping off the jacket slowly, so not even Seth could see what was going on in his chest. And I don't know if they gimmicked it up, if they put extra makeup and stuff like that to make it look even more
purple and
horrid.
Everything.
You know what I mean? Like, but it had the desired effect, and I think more than anything, it put Seth on the map as a super safe worker, somebody who could definitely wrestle that match with Cody and protect him while still making every move look devastating. No notes, man. No notes. The crowd was invested in almost an agonizingly watching a car crash happen multiple times live kind of way, where you was almost enthralled by the gratuitous violence, but at the same time, you knew this was just felt wrong. This just felt wrong watching them fight. Like at some point, you're like, "Yo, Cody, man, you got it. You got it. We don't want to watch this anymore." You feel me? But it was so good. It was so good.
It was one of those things where even like the people that watch it and they're like, "Oh my God, this is fake." Like even then, now you're watching it and you're like, "How is he going through this right now? Like, how is he not in agonizing pain? We can see that you are in pain. Your arm should not look like this.
Bro,
no part of your body should look like
this. They probably gave him that thing that they put the hippos to sleep with, bro. He probably could have felt half his body, dog.
He took the Aaron Rodgers drugs. Yeah. He was good.
Dog, that man took the put me back in, coach. That second half of Dutchman came out the blue tent with the Winter Soldier codes.
100. Listen, when he's on Joe Rogan in like 15 years running for office somewhere, and Joe Rogan's like, "Hey Jamie, pull up that video of Seth Rollins' arm. They keep telling me about this." Right. And then they breaking it down, and Cody's like, "You know, they just gave me a handful of whatever I didn't even ask, and I put on a match. You know."
Dude, was your fucking pec actually tore? That wasn't fake? Motherfucker.
Jamie, pull up a Tesla real quick. Hold on. I need to show. If he thinks his arm is strong, let me show him how these windows.
Oh, man. Crazy.
Listen, the new era of Hell in a Cells, I'm more curious. Like, I want to see what CM Punk and Drew can do now, because I feel like they've done it all. This feud, it's a good feud. Don't get me wrong, but Triple H loves him a multi-month long feud. Now after this, there should be no beef between the two. Like whoever loses, just dap up the winner and be like, "Yo, all right, bro. I don't know what else to be mad at you for. We've put
Right.
each other through the ringer. You know, so you've done every type of match, every you know, every gimmick match and everything like that. Titles have been won, titles have been lost. Listen, have the match, move on. All right.
Yeah. I think the only way I think the only way you get just straight move on is if a third party enters into their beef and takes the attention away from Punk Drew
Mhm.
by engaging with one of them. Like they
Yeah.
have to serve as a distraction. One of them got to go on a side quest and leave the other one alone.
And I thought it would be Seth Rollins, to be honest. And then Seth Rollins came back super fast from, you know, those injuries that it was reported that he had, like meniscus and stuff like that, or whatever it was. But I thought, you know, Seth would be able to go away for a while and then come back around this time, maybe even after Mania, because we all saw what his leg was moving around like. You know, that leg was looking like some well done spaghetti. That thing was just flying around. But, you know, because we all remember when CM Punk returned, Seth Rollins was wilding out. Drew wasn't having it, but Seth Rollins was cursing. He was looking at him. He was talking so much shit at the bottom of that ramp. So, excuse me. So I thought, you know, it would be Drew and then Seth right after that, you know, with title implications. But obviously Seth didn't. He lost his title, so that wouldn't happen. But I still want to know why Seth was in his bag the way he was. Like, because to be honest, the only person on the main roster right now that should feel that way about CM Punk, because I don't know what Seth and CM Punk's beef is about, but Roman Reigns is the only person who could be like, yo, on his way out, he talked so much shit about me. It was crazy. So Roman Reigns is, you know, on the list, and then Ryback is a little bit above Roman Reigns, you know, when it comes to the hierarchy of hating CM Punk. But we got to find out what Seth and CM Punk's beef is all about. Pause. But speaking, let's get to the breakout star of 2024. I'm very excited to see what your take is. To see who you think is going to be the next star, and you know who's going to be taking over 2025. Because once again, we have Raw going on Netflix, SmackDown going on USA Network. So I feel like, you know, once the year goes in, we're going to have a little shuffle of everything that's happening in the world of the WWE. And then, you know, not to jump ahead of topics, but Tony Khan said that he doesn't enjoy long-term storytelling. So what does that mean for everybody on the roster? Like, anybody could be a top person at that company at this point if there's no direction. So Jeff, who do you think is going to be a breakout star? Who do you think was a breakout star of this year? And who do you think is going to take over the 2025?
So just before I give my answer, just to confirm, when we say breakout star, are we saying, does it have to be somebody who wasn't on the star radar, who exponentially jumped? Is this like most improved player? Or is it like a step up from most improved player? Like, I'm thinking it's somebody who gained a lot of recognition, because most improved is completely different. I feel like that's the person that like jumped out like, whoa. But these might be people who are established, who hit that next level of stardom, whether it was with their in-ring, with their gimmick or whatnot.
That's a good question, because that gives me two different answers. Like, let's say a Trick Williams from going into 2023 into 2024, completely different, you know, wrestler.
Yeah.
But then
I can see him as like an MIP, because the whoop that trick and all of that was picking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a couple of people that I look at as breakout stars when I think about it.
Let's hear who you have to think, and then maybe that'll influence like the way I'll think about it.
All right. So first, and this might be controversial. I don't know, whatever. One person I think about is main event Jey Uso. Because Jey Uso was hot in 2023. 2024, bro, my man brought back slang from the early aughts and made that shit relevant again in 2024, 20 plus years slang. And that wasn't generational slang. Like you think about something like cool. Cool is generational. People will be saying cool in 3024, right?
Yeah.
We wasn't saying yeet. Shout out to the young boy on Vine, the originator of the yeet, right? Shout out to him. But bringing it back, this was a phrase, mind you, that was about to get wrapped up because there was a copyright notice on that where they had to cut a check to be able to use yeet.
Oh,
And
I
remember
forgot
when they
that
were
happened.
blurring out the shirts and all of that? Now they got it back, and I hope Homeboy's check was fat, bro, because man, they took Yeet. He's taking Yeet to a whole other level, and now that he's the IC champ and he's kind of finished his own story, and that dude. He didn't even need the title. That's how hot he was. That's how popular he was. And if anybody told you that Rikishi's kid would be one of the hottest stars in WWE history, the dudes that were painting their face and go with full Polynesian in their early beginnings, I didn't see it, but I'm glad. That to me is like a breakout. So he's one. The other one, we might get a third box popping up here on the Black Announce table because you know what they say. You say his name and he might just appear. Right? Y'all know who it is, bro. Joe Hendry, multi-company, multi-organization star. A dude who compelled you to watch TNA to figure out who he really was. That forced you to literally do your Googles to figure out why people are singing his song. Who is this dude, bro? Who is this dude? And then you watch him. He may not have the 1004 moves and is hitting all the Death Valley drivers and the amazing red, the code reds off of top turnbuckles and all of that and Pepsi plunges and all of that whatnot. But this dude got it. If you don't know what it is, you know it when you see it with him. And he's somebody who literally took the internet by storm, took TikTok by storm, went super viral, controlled his own character, and made something his own. It reminds me of Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona's internet champion wave, where he went on the internet and made himself hot. That's the same thing Joe Hendry did. The fact that he was doing a foreign exchange program with NXT for a while, got a world title shot, put his own programs in TNA on hold to go to WWE, go to NXT. You see his signs everywhere, bro. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. He purchased a digital ad outside of not Bash at Berlin, the one in Scotland.
Oh,
was it Scotland or was it Cardiff? Where Punk screwed Drew.
Yeah,
I'm blanking right now.
I can't remember the pay-per-view.
I'm blanking right now, but yeah, he bought a digital ad outside of the arena for it to run like every 8 seconds with his face popping. Like, this dude is different, bro. Like, when I think about Breakout Stars, that's the literal definition of breakout to me, because I know who the hell he was. And now I know. And now I'm hoping to see more of him. So those are two guys on the men's side that I think have really stepped up and broken out and made like a real name for himself.
Nah, Joe Hendry, like, I completely forgot about him, but he's definitely a breakout star, because at WrestleMania weekend, listen, it was a road trip, me and all my boys. We went up, and two of my friends, we're making a drive from New York to Philly, and they just start singing this goddamn song, and the rest of us are sitting there like, yo, what song is that? And they were like, oh, you don't know Joe Hendry? Yo. And then they play like the music video, and I'm like, all right, I get it. I see what he's doing or whatever. They were like, yeah, maybe he's gonna pop up at NXT or something like that, because I guess the rumor at the time was that he's a free agent or something like that. So he doesn't appear, but literally a couple months down the road, once the TNA and NXT thing happens, now Joe Hendry, his theme song is everywhere. I've heard that song a billion times from NXT, from Mania weekend to that point, and then he appears, does the look and everything like that, and I'm like, yo, Joe Hendry has perfected the WWE style of like a mid-carder with one of those personalities that you don't mind if he gets a title shot and even wins a title at some point.
Right.
He's perfected the like you said, Zack Ryder, even the Miz, like those people who, even though they're not the greatest in ring, like doing a trillion spots, the character work makes up for all of that, because he'll do things in the ring that make sense.
Right.
And then he can, give you the character that's entertaining all at the same time.
Right.
So sometimes that's even more important than somebody who can just do 1,000,005 moves, like you said, because it gets stale real quick. If you can't talk, I don't want to call out any names or anything like that, but a certain person that just went to AEW, if it's hard to cut a promo, it makes things a little difficult for you. So I might have to steal your answer and go with Joe Hendry, because he went from somebody who I was asking, yo, who is this, to somebody who it goes viral every time he pops up. You got NFL players singing his theme song before practices and stuff like that, and just like a bunch of people in pop culture that are bringing him up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like it even gets so intricate to the point where he created his theme song at the RPMs or the BPMs that he knew would be a catchy theme. That's like 3D level of musicality, where you like, okay, if I make my first part of my theme like this, and then I bridge it into the hand wave joint and slow it down, that combined will make it catch on and make it go viral. Like, that's so crazy. Even when he green screens his intro Titantron, and he can add other people to it, whether it's AI or whatever. Like, this is when people are ahead of that technology curve and they use it to create new, older ideas of classic themes and new and innovative ways for this era. They're just on the wave before it comes crashing down and a new one pops up. They on to the next thing, and that's where he's at. So yeah, I when I think about two people who's breakout stars, on different sides of the spectrum, those would be the two to me.
Yeah, and then like you said, Jey Uso, especially with him being in a tag team his entire career, or always associated in a stable, for him to get, when I watched him win the title on Raw, the pop that he got when the 3 hit was madness. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is prime wrestling crowd right here. The crowd was invested in that moment. Then you see the videos of the kids watching him win the title, and you're sitting there, you're like, this is what it's all about right here.
Yeah.
You throw a hell yeah in the comments, and you gotta keep it moving. But I was sitting there, I'm like, yo, this was a great moment. I love that it happened on Raw, not on a pay-per-view. So it's one of those things where you never saw it coming. You would have never thought that he was going to be Bron Breakker. But I do love this, just to speak on him winning the title. I do love this for everybody involved. Because if Jimmy Uso comes back, you got that rivalry happening now for the IC title. The stakes are higher. Then, on top of that, Bron Breakker gets to sit down for a little bit, redevelop, figure out, find more storylines and things like that he wants to get into. So I love that he lost the title, to be honest. Everybody wanted to book him as a Brock Lesnar 2.0. I'm glad, he gets wins and losses, and then he can just reset and then regroup and just live to terrorize another day.
And yo, I mean, sue me, I like mid-card titles that hot potato, because everybody gets their time. Like, even when it goes back and forth between people, it shows that these title reigns are sudden. You got spoiled with Gunther and Rhea and Seth and Roman and these people who had these long title reigns, and we know Triple loves his long title reigns, right? But I think it's good to freshen up the IC title because they told the story within that IC title reign for Braun. Because anytime Braun got too big for his britches and he got a little bit too gassed, he got beat, right? So, Sammy beat him. Then Jey beat him, right? So, yeah, man. And honestly, bro, Braun is the type of person, he don't need the title. He don't need a title right now. He is going to have 1 billion of those. He's going to have 1 billion of those titles. He just needs dance partners and, as you said, continuing to develop his character, and he's going to be straight.
Easily. And with that being said, we have a couple, we have some news coming out of AEW. They're going to be in New York tomorrow, yesterday for the people watching. So we have a lot of news coming out of AEW. We have Miro has requested his release from AEW per Fightful. This isn't the first time he's requested this. I feel like it's happened a couple times, and his last match was in December and pitched the Casino Gauntlet, and he wanted a match with Moxley, but since 2022 he's wrestled only 11 times. Now, I don't want to keep bringing up this subject once again too early, but this is a problem with not looking for long-term storytelling. You got Tony booking things week by week, and one thing that happens when you're booking week by week is that you're not focused on everybody. You're focused on whatever. Number one, you got to bring people in. So you got to put whatever big names you can onto the card for the week-to-week television, and just hope that it gets people at the door. So sometimes when booking like that, you don't got room for storylines that you haven't thought out all the way yet. So that's why somebody like a Miro is going to be like, oh, so listen, we don't need you this week. We got 17 fucking high spot people that people love to see. This is what we know are going to bring in the house. With that being said, listen, one of the things that was pitched when AEW first started was it's gonna help with competition. It's gonna give so many people, so many opportunities. But the WWE was it Raw that's getting shortened to 2 hours?
Yeah, in October, from October until they go to Netflix, it's gonna be 2 hours.
WWE ain't got that many spots either. So,
well, SmackDown's going to be going to 3.
SmackDown,
and then Netflix is going to be vibes. They can do whatever they want. Honestly, 1 week can be 2, 1 week could be 3.
Yeah, it's whatever Trips is feeling. He's like, hey, what? Whatevs. We only got 3 matches on this week.
Thank y'all for re-ing up y'all subscription. You know what? Here go 2 more for you.
Yo, I'm excited. I'm so excited just to see what happens on Netflix. Like, are they really gonna test the waters and really be experimental? Because camera wise, all the different ways that they've been filming things, they've been going crazy with all these new ways of capturing wrestling, and I love it so much. It makes me realize that, listen, man, what's his name that was doing it before?
Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, Kevin Dunn. I'm so glad you're done, man. Your last name's fitting, because what the hell was that?
Nah, if producers and directors have like a war tribunal,
look at this.
Like, that dude needs to go in front of that ASAP. Oh yeah, their social team hits another level. That's one thing about, and being a social media professional myself, WWE is one of the gold standards of social media management. They don't rest on their laurels whatsoever. They're pushing the boundaries. They're doing new things. If it doesn't work, they learn the lessons from what they tried and they apply to the next one. Even using, because that effect where you see multiple scenes within one static view, one static picture. I actually saw the Celtics do that first.
Yes.
One of the Celtics social media manager, where they were just a whole bunch of plays was happening on the same court. And I thought that was visually the illest thing I ever saw. And WWE did the smart thing a lot of these companies do. They copied that motherfucker and then they flipped it for their own shit. Like they made a video quote card into a continuous moving video picture with multiple scenes. Like they elevated what the Celtics did by adding words to it and making the ring. Like that's the way you elevate art. Like no idea is original, but you can put your own spin on it to make it original. And shout out to them because their production has elevated to almost prestige levels. Their vignettes and their trailers have always been top class. Now their actual in-ring production, bruh, with the video and the elements, they're using drones. There's moving shots. They're running guerrilla style. They're running stationary. Every wrestler has their own uniquely shot intro to differentiate them from the rest. This is the type of things where you have that cinematic eye behind the screen. Lee Fitting did his big one, like the kids would say. He did his big one, bruh. And they get better every week. It's sick. It's really sick.
And just presentation wise, like when you're announcing all of the announcers, when you're announcing the ring announcer as well, you're doing all these things. Oh, you're calling this guy play by play. This is the color commentator. Like you're treating it like it's professional. Like they're really putting an emphasis on professional wrestling. And I love it so much because now it makes it all better, makes it you care about who you're hearing now. Like even with these teams, the SmackDown team versus the Raw team, you get different styles, different vibes. And it changes so much. And I just want to thank Miro for just influencing this conversation to even be brought up because you know, I hope you get your release. I hope you get what you want because it made me love what the WWE is doing presentation wise.
Facts.
So shout out to Miro for that one. And let's see. We got Grand Slam happening again on Wednesday. Once again, it would have just passed. Jeff, have you been to AEW shows like recently?
I haven't been recently. I was actually at the first Grand Slam though.
I was there too. I didn't realize that those tennis arenas go so high up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
it's like I thought I was in Rome, bro. I thought I was about to see a lion fight a gladiator, bro.
I cannot tell you a single match that I saw because I forgot my glasses at home. I thought I'd be chilling. Yo, I was so high up. It was so like bad from I don't think wrestling is meant to be viewed from there. I don't know how tennis is viewed from there, but
not you needed the binoculars.
You know, listen, there was times where I pulled out my phone and zoomed in so I could just see what was happening.
Oh nah, you need the LASIK, bro. You gotta get the LASIK, man.
Yeah.
You see the world in 4K again.
Yeah, I might have to. I just might have to do it. I'm telling you, I was sitting up there and I'm like, this is bad vibes. But it was good vibes too. I saw Daniel Bryan. I don't even remember.
Kenny Omega.
It was Kenny Omega. It was Kenny Omega.
The open the show.
Yes. Now I remember. I'm trying to put like the theme songs in my head. So I'm like, I couldn't see it. Maybe I could hear what was happening. I don't really remember what happened. Maybe tomorrow after work, if I got time, I'll take the 7 train up to Queens and check it out.
Yeah,
but
I feel you. There's seats.
Oh,
there's definitely seats available, so you could pull up.
If there's one guarantee in life, it's that AEW is gonna have some seats.
They're gonna have some seats. You go pull up, and you could get a row if you want, bro. You out there like you got the Serena seats. You could get the Serena seats in the arena, like you go to see Prime Serena play, bro. It's gonna be you, Tiger Woods, Malik Neighbors. We're gonna get the old and the young in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Bron,
a sick trio.
You're gonna get the Bron seats in Arthur Ashe, bro. You don't gotta sit with Arthur Ashe. You can sit in good seats. Plenty of seats, tickets still available. I think the first one was like $20K. I think this one is not even at 5K. You could tell him like, yo, I want to sit here, lift the top up. I'm good.
They got
That's my favorite seat.
They got the tarp on the 11th row.
Matter of fact, nah, see, I wasn't even trying to turn up. I was being dead ass when I said that you could pull up. But yo, let me fire up the Ticketmaster machine right now. See, I'm gonna get my man. See, but I know you ain't trying to stay. Are you trying to stay there for the whole joint?
Oh, listen, man, that's asking a lot of me right there to stay for the whole. But you know, it is Queens. Maybe
yeah. Oh, because you're not from Queens. All right. Well, that's still I mean, 100 sections, $55.
Yo, what? Yo, that is. I might actually
section J, $96.95. That's like section 9. So it's almost the equivalent of like, I wonder if this is a floor seat.
Don't forget, use promo code BAT.
Facts.
BAT pod for $20 off your first order.
If you want a good view and all of that, the obstructed view for $37, you know what I mean? In case you ain't trying to really mess with them Jericho matches, you could look behind a pillar or something like that. Row N 73. Yo, I mean, look. And I think this is the pull-up price might drop too.
Oh my God. They might pay you to go in. They might.
Dog, oh nah. Yo, that is a $5,000 shirt. I know, I'm familiar with your game, bro. Once I see all of the mechanical, intricate work on the shirt, that's $100 for every chain that's on that shirt, bro.
Listen, I turned in the chains on the shirts for the chains on the neck, but we
Terramana Manny, bro. I already see the vibes. I saw the goosebumps. Saw the goosebumps
easily. But yo, you know, if you use promo code BAT pod on SeatGeek, they might refund you $10.
Oh,
instead of giving
you get a voucher. So they giving out vouchers.
They might. Don't quote me on that. Oh, yo, no. I did not know these seats were it. Yo, I'm looking at $25 seats. I'm looking,
bro. I'm telling you, it's straight pull up.
Yo, shout out to TK.
Don't ask who all gonna be there because you might not like the answer.
They got 5-pack offers. Yo, a 5-pack. Yo.
And that's for a 4-hour show too. Honestly, like, all jokes aside,
that's a steal.
Man,
this is a good. That's less than $10 an hour that you're paying to go into that.
Crazy.
Yo, shout out to them, man. Jeff, it was a great show. You know, I don't want to keep you too long.
That's all good.
You are one of the best people, you know, that I know, especially one of the most entertaining and just in entertaining space. Whether you're talking about the Knicks, you're talking about betting, whether you're talking about wrestling, you do it all. You're a multifaceted person. Listen, you're a great conversationalist in person. Whenever we link up, great vibes. Whether it's talking about the amazing catfish.
I'm still
brunches.
Thinking about it. Oh God,
yeah,
that catfish in Philadelphia, man, bruh, it was so good.
Listen,
it was so good.
Andreas is gonna in Vegas. I don't know how he's gonna outdo himself.
He might fly in Mr. Childs or something. I don't know, bro. Like, you know, Andreas, rich man Andreas, he gonna have something.
Listen, and it's his hometown. I'm just hoping that the next year's just comes close to what this year's was. Because
facts,
man, and I say this in a good way, no pressure, but you invite us to one great event. I'm just always gonna expect like that event to be elite. Facts. And not in an AEW type of way. It's gonna be packed out.
OG elite. OG elite.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. I feel you. Nah, I think it's gonna be fire. It might be a little earlier because you know they on West Coast time.
Oh,
but we will be there no matter what.
Exactly.
We will be there no matter what.
It's gonna be the bruh version of the
yes.
breakfast of the lunch. So
Facts.
we're gonna be in there early, but the drinks are gonna be flowing. I can
You're ready.
guarantee that.
You already.
I can promise that. It's Vegas. It's gonna be my first time there as an adult.
Oh, word?
I only went when I was like 12 years old, and I went to Circus, so I was
Oh,
just chilling.
I hope so. Shoot.
So I couldn't really enjoy Vegas, but this
Right.
time
Oh no,
it's
you're gonna
gonna
have a good
be.
time.
It's
Vegas is
gonna
a
be.
good time.
We're locked in.
Yes, sir.
So Jeff J, if you want to promote anything before you get out of here, once again, I appreciate you for stopping by. As a this week's co-host,
Yes, sir.
really one of the best.
Yeah. Nah, well, y'all can follow me. Jeff J says all social media. Jeff J says the YouTube channel, like Manny said, talking about sports, betting, basketball season coming up. Starting to gear up. We're gonna have our first episodes out really soon. So if you like tapping into sports or you just like hearing good conversation, you could tap in with me. Also, if you are a fan of the show Power, I have the greatest power podcast in this or any other multiverse, Power After Hours. Best power community. That's the whole purpose of the pod. We don't talk about nothing else but any shows that are under the Power umbrella. So Ghost is about to wrap up their series finales in a couple of weeks. You could check all the past episodes. Tap in with us, man. We have a good time. Monday, 6 o'clock Eastern. When the show airs on Friday, that Monday, me and my co-host Chrissy Bree are talking about it. So that's really it. If y'all into betting, TNT Sports, The Line on True TV. I make appearances there now too. I'm gonna be everywhere, man. I'm everywhere and making quality starts and quality appearances. So definitely check me out there.
Listen, I remember I used to go to bars on Friday nights, and I could see they would have MSG Network on. You would be putting out your bets, and I would be tailing the bets at the bar. Like, yo, nah, hold on, let me make up this tab that I just spent real quick. Let's make that money.
I hope we made y'all some good money, man, for sure.
Listen, you guys went on a run for a couple episodes, and I was sitting there like, yo, these are quality picks. This isn't just people going, nah, he got that dog in him, he's gonna do it. It was the science was there. So I'm excited for this basketball season to see what your picks are, what your rationale is. Because listen, me, Meals, Armand, and Eve, we all have a sports betting group chat, and sometimes we just let bets fly off the strength. Like, nah, it's gonna go crazy. So I can't wait to add your analysis. Be like, yo, Jeff said these are the best picks. Let's go with his science. Let's just not go off feeling. So I'm excited for this basketball season. But Jeff, thanks again for pulling up. We'll see you soon. We'll lock in and do something else eventually. I'm excited to see what we can do again.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for pulling up.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Good. Man, Jeff, I love that episode, to be honest.
Hey, he's good at his job.
Yeah, the guy is in all time. I loved everything he said about everything. I was like, wow,
he's good. That boy good. You see the Emmy,
yeah,
over his shoulder. It's natural. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I've known Jeff for a few years now. Worked with him on a project before, and I wish we could have more guests like that.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to have because I knew, I'm like, all right, I have a rapport with Jeff. I got a rapport with Armand. I knew that I could, with just one of them pause at a time, we could put out a banger of an episode, because I knew if anything more than like 3 people, where it's like people that I don't talk with all the time, like we would just be jumping over each other and it would be a little hectic. So not that I'm glad that Armand's on vacation, but I'm like, if we could have split those 2 episodes up, that way we could just do them separately. That was ideal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into this week in professional wrestling and hit the go home. All right, so this is the week in professional wrestling. Listen, I don't have all the gimmicks like Cody, play all the drops and everything like that. I don't know.
I can just add them in later.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were gonna add them in post KV. So listen, this is a vanilla pod. We're doing it without the bells and whistles.
What who called us the G League of
Nah, the G League is crazy.
the real hosts aren't here. So we just the G League.
Nah, I can't even be a hoops mixtape version of the pod. Like just somebody in high school with mad dribble skills.
Comments be eating us up.
Listen, man. If they don't love this episode, fucking get the Big Buford level of Patreon and pay for me to not come in for a week.
Hey, there we go.
If 5 of y'all get the Big Buford, I'll take a week off. All right, man. Carmelo Hayes. Oh, speaking of Big
Buford. Look, man.
Yo, Black Announce Table alum Carmelo Hayes. What? Listen,
what's wrong with this dude, man?
Him and Andrade. Wait, so is the best of 7 between them two?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Like I think right now they're at 5 matches. Andrade is up 3-2.
Where are these have all these matches happened on TV?
Yeah. Like every 2 weeks they've had a match. And all of them has been fire.
Yeah, like I thought it was just people recycling the highlights of just like a match that they had. Because I have seen them going crazy. But I didn't know this was them just every couple weeks.
Last week they had match number 5. Andrade went over. And this past like the winner of last week's match got a US title match, which Andrade lost. It was a real good match between him and LA Knight. They had a little awkward exchange at the end where it looked like LA Knight just wanted to like fist bump, but Andrade is like real traditional. He was like, no, you're gonna shake my hand. And so he like grabbed LA Knight's hand, like wrist to. It was just kind of awkward, but hey, it worked. It's not a big deal. It was just a little awkward.
Yeah.
Then Andrade is walking backstage. He's kind of sulking. He just lost his opportunity. Who does he run into? His number 1 op. And of course, as our listeners know, Melo has been on the show. Melo has a big mouth. He proceeds to question Andrade, like, what was that out there? Why did you choke? And then he said, man, just forget all that. Put the fries in the bag, bro. Boy, I was so not expecting that. That saying is so disrespectful. Especially at your job. Like, telling that to somebody at your job is crazy. But I respect. Listen, I love a good shit talking. If this is what they doing, I haven't really. When was the last time you seen a bad? I guess it would be redundant, but like a bad best out of 7 series. You know what I'm saying? You don't like the 3 that I remember.
You got Sheamus and Cesaro.
Cesaro, yeah. And they became the Bar after that. Then if you take it all the way back, it was Booker T and DDP. No, Booker T and someone in WCW. They had a phenomenal best of 7. And then I believe it was MVP versus Matt Hardy.
But didn't they also do like other things? Like
they were like
basketball.
Yeah.
I remember. So best out of 7s. Is it the most underrated version of like a gimmick of a storyline? Like
it is.
And when I feel like a best out of 7 is kind of more impactful than a Hell in a Cell, in a sense.
Like, you really got to get in your bag, and each match, you got to just tell different stories.
Exactly. Tell a bunch of different stories while getting to the end of one story. Which I like the way they did it with Cesaro and Sheamus, because like they were like, yo, we beat the shit out of each other. Imagine what we could do to everybody else as a team.
Fact.
And like it worked. It worked that way. I definitely enjoyed that.
And I wonder because Andrade already got the title match, so it's like, what's next for these two? I don't know if they team up, but I just want them on TV every other week, because they're stars, man. So
I hope that the 7th match ends up being like an Iron Man match or something crazy like that.
Ooh, you cooking.
Give them an Iron Man match. Give them, and I was gonna say like drag it out to like the premiere on Netflix or something. Because like, remember when Cesaro and Sami Zayn had that 2 out of 3 falls on NXT?
Damn, yeah.
That was like what made me watch NXT, because I heard about how crazy this match was. So I went, to the network at the time, and I was like, all right, let me watch this NXT thing. I never even watched a single episode about that, so I had no idea what that was. And then I was hooked ever since. I was like, nah, Sami Zayn, I have no idea who that is, but he's him.
Yeah.
So if they could figure out how to drag this to the premiere of Raw, or make it like something crazy on SmackDown, now that it's about to be 3 hours, and 1 hour of that is just Carmelo Hayes and Andrade going crazy, they can make a star. They can make a star out of whoever wins that match, to be honest.
They can make a star out of both of them. They do have an upcoming show. Tickets went on sale this week. And if you don't want to use Ticketmaster, you can, of course, use SeatGeek. Type in that code BATPOD at check-in for $20 off your first order. And hey, they may save the 7th match for this. Why not?
Yeah, like you got to do something big. I'm telling you, an Iron Man match or 2 out of 3 falls to finish Game 7 with the dramatics. That's what it's all about right there. And then a lot of people would think that it's redundant to have an Iron Man or a 2 out of 3 falls in a 7th match, because now you're adding way more pinfalls and shit like that. But no, think about like buzzer beaters and fucking going into overtime. That's what that would be.
That's what it is, overtime.
Exactly.
And if anybody can do it, those two can.
Easily. And then those are Triple H guys. Like Triple H loved Andrade, loved Carmelo Hayes. Well, Shawn Michaels, I guess more so for Carmelo Hayes, but NXT's his baby. And at one point, Andrade was that dude in NXT.
Yeah. Speaking of those dudes,
that's exactly where I was gonna go with it.
My God.
So one thing, I was wondering, like when I first saw the picture when they both dropped it, I'm like, why are they at Georgia Tech? Because I knew Roman played at Georgia Tech. Him and Megatron were on the same team. We all know that story. And I'm sitting, I'm like, but then like, why is Cody meeting him there? And then I remembered he's from Georgia. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, God damn it. So many layers.
Yeah.
So they doing so many goddamn things when it comes to Roman. And I feel like it's just Roman. Roman's the only person that
do cool shit like this. Have a tractor trailer pull up in the ring and destroy the ring.
Bro,
like what, bro?
It's just Roman that they can do all this cool shit, all these Easter eggs, all these symbolisms. When he looked to the left to look at Paul Heyman,
and he not there.
And then I'm like, yo, the fact that they knew somebody on the internet would recognize what Roman was doing right there. Man, I love it. I love it so much.
It's good TV.
This we've never seen nothing like this before. It's never happened.
It's never in that bag right now, man.
And it's just a Roman. Figure out that storytelling with some of these other people, please. Because listen, like what we said last week, where they completely fumbled the storyline between the Wyatt Six and Chad Gable, and then Chad Gable teaming up with American Alpha 2.0. I don't remember their names.
American made.
Their names are American made.
I could be lying. I think that's what it's called. They're called. Let me see.
They were the something brothers, right?
They
the
were
Creed
the Creed brothers.
Yeah,
they're
like
now American made. Yeah.
Like we all wanted to see Chad Gable go heel with the Creed brothers and be a stable, and somehow they try to do too much, and now it's it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna take a little bit for the Creed for American made to hit the ground and start running.
They got it sort of back on track.
Yeah, but with Kofi and Austin, I mean not Austin. I was gonna say Austin Creed because I'm thinking with Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods, yeah.
So, but even with that, it's like look, it's gonna take a storyline like this, and I don't want to see the Wyatt Six mess with Chad Gable no more. Please just leave that until later when
Chad said it's done though.
I hope so, because I really just want it would have made way more sense if they just attacked him in American Made, and then now they doing 3-on-3 matches and moving around like that. Then I just Otis, I mean, that pissed me off. But Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, let's just put a pin on that. What are your thoughts on the promo? And listen, it was shot beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
It was a movie scene basically.
Really well done. I be wanting to hate stuff, but this was so good that damn, I wanted to be like, man, Cody, you corny talking about your dad, but it was just like the layers, nah, my family been doing this. This may be your stadium, but this is home. And then he got that off. Man, I want to see part 3 between them, but I don't know when we get that.
I think we should get it 2 years down the road.
Yeah, it's not this WrestleMania or nothing like that.
Listen, we need to put, and I don't want to say it like that, but we need Roman and Rock at this year's Mania. We need that implosion of the bloodline. We need the bloodline colliding, and I don't know what Triple H has in store, but you go to November, you do a goddamn Survivor Series match between the new bloodline and the old bloodline plus a Sami Zayn. You keep it moving.
You think that? I don't think that's happening.
I don't think it happens either. It's one of those things too where it's nobody should really go on Roman's team.
Yeah.
He was literally a piece of shit to everybody, and he hasn't done anything to redeem himself. Besides,
from just this past SmackDown, so KO's looking at Cody real funny. It's KO is battling himself at this point because we all know he wants to stab Cody in the back, but he I'm trying to be a better person here. So why are you, you know what I'm saying? You teaming up with him? Do you know what me and him been through for the past 4 years? And then you got Cody's other partner, Randy Orton. We know what the bloodline did to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what the War Games match will be. It's going to be the Bloodline G League versus Roman, Cody, RKO, and who else am I forgetting? Did I say Kevin Owens?
No.
So there you go. Those are 4. I think that's the match. Because the dynamic of Roman's partners all hating his guts and him having to work over them.
But I would even find it more interesting if it was just Roman on his own versus the new bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you get Roman to eliminate a couple of the bloodline members. And then the
gauntlet.
Yeah, and then the last 5-10 minutes of the match is them obviously overpowering him and beating the fuck out of him, and then you get Solo standing over Roman proper, saying that he beat him in a match.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that creates, now Roman has officially hit his lowest point, where he officially has lost to the bloodline. Solo can now properly take the role as tribal chief. And then that makes it more interesting, because the best way to build somebody up is breaking them down. And Roman hasn't really lost anything. Like, the only reason why he's not tribal chief is because he lost at Mania. It's not like he's lost to anybody else though since then. So
and Cody reminded him of that too. He was like, 2 years ago, I told you this was gonna happen,
and
I was like, oh.
So and it's one of those things where if you're Roman, all you gotta say is, but it took you 2 years to do that. Like,
Good God.
I was still running that shit that whole time. So for me, I feel like it would be interesting if Roman, or like what you said, all these people team up with Roman for a Survivor Series match, and KO doesn't go out. Yeah. Randy Orton doesn't go out, because they know, they're like, yo, we're the backstabbers. Mm-hmm. We not gonna get back with you to help you out when we wouldn't have done that shit if it was the other way around. And then maybe it's just Cody and Roman versus the bloodline, and they just get the shit beat out of them.
And they get smoked.
Exactly. Like that's how you elevate Solo. It's not by doing all this other, weird shit and stuff like that. They gotta get creative. Come on, you gotta watch a couple of mobster movies and figure this shit out. But besides that, do you want to talk more about Jey Uso winning the championship?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about we talked about it earlier with Jeff J, but let's bring up the Rikishi statements.
Rikishi booked this right after Raw at 11:44 p.m. Rikishi Fat 2 tweeted out at Rhea Ripley _WWE. It's time to celebrate, Miami, and your new IC champion, Jey main event Uso. Everybody throw your hands in the air and say it loud and proud. #Jey wins. #Yeet at WWE. Rikishi booked this, man.
Listen, man. Rikishi made the call.
Yeah.
When I think about Rikishi, I just think about him being like the Fat Joe of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he be talking like a whole bunch of shit, like he's running everything, but he's just a fan.
Yeah,
he's just a fan at the end of the day. Earlier, was it last week or was it earlier in this week, where he's like, yo, pray for Jimmy, pray for he's putting out all these weird tweets.
Had like, everybody scared.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you don't be saying shit like that for no reason. What's good with you? But Rikishi just need to chill out, put out some what was it, Kishi wear?
Yeah.
Yo, put that shit back. Tell Fanatics to put that shit back out. I'll cop it. Just chill out. Chill out with the pod. You know what, Rikishi? Come on over, man.
You got some ideas?
I got some. Listen, when I was in kindergarten, I convinced for my graduation or some shit like that that all the boys in our kindergarten class had to do the Too Cool entrance.
Oh, brother.
To come out, to go onto the stage. And because it was my idea, I was in charge of, number one, doing the dance and showing everybody how to do the dance. And somebody had to do the worm, and it was me.
We need the footages.
The footage, this was what year? Kindergarten? How old are you in kindergarten? Like 5, 6?
I don't know.
Something like that. Maybe like 5 years old. So this is 01. So ain't nobody, unless a parent was there with a video camera or something like that, and they still have it.
I got the footages. Email us. Email the Black Announce Table Twitter. DM us and send us that footage. We need that.
Yeah, I would 100% pay for that footage. I don't know. I don't remember anybody that was in my kindergarten class besides my cousin. So we definitely don't have those picks, but there is. If somebody had a video camera at that time, and listen, it was a poor school in the Bronx. I don't know if people had that, but I was definitely doing the worm. Shit was crazy.
That's insane.
So yo, Keish, come on the pod, man. Let's talk some rap. Let's talk some rap. Not even wrestling. Let's talk hip hop.
He also tweeted out this week, or what he shared on his podcast, that he thinks Jacob Fatu is being pushed too quickly.
I also saw that. I wouldn't say that because he hasn't really done anything. The only thing that he's done is correct all the mistakes that have been happening with the booking and like the representation of the new bloodline. Like we all thought when Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa pulled up that they were going to be a certain way, and they quickly turned into caricatures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Jacob corrected all of that by being a proper muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So I would disagree with Rikishi on that one for sure. And this is why we need him on the pod. I want to figure out what would be a proper booking of Jacob.
Not losing to Cody Rhodes, I think that's what he worried about. Because it's like, where do you go from there? Like, if you get that match, and Jacob's only been there, 3 months so far?
Listen, I don't know about you, KP. I watched Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people forget that Rocky lost at the end of the movie. And that wasn't even the best movie.
Oh, wow.
The fourth Rocky. Wait, did you not watch Rocky?
I've never seen a Rocky. I know he ran up the steps.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, thanks. Okay. 30-year spoiler, 40-year.
No, yo, KP, Rocky 4 is one of the greatest movies ever made.
I heard that's CM Punk's favorite movie, by the way.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to watch Rocky. Rocky
I'm never watching it.
Oh no! What do you have against Rocky?
I don't watch movies for real. Sorry.
Oh.
If it's not like a TV show with like 7 seasons, I'm not really interested.
That is a very interesting take.
Yeah. I think movies are too short. Like, can you really get all the story off in 2 hours?
All right. Hear me out. If Rocky has, I think there's 6 proper Rocky movies, and then 2 Creed, the Michael B. Jordan spinoffs.
Mm-hmm.
No, 3. There's 3 spinoffs. So if there's 10 movies about this one character and the spinoffs from it, is that really too short? 10 movies?
10 movies? Possibly, man. Like I just prefer like the episodic, like, ooh, this hanging cliff. What's that shit? Cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger?
Yeah. Like my favorite shows are like them big episodic shows like Lost, 24. Yeah. Like that's what I really get into.
I'm rewatching How I Met Your Mother.
Classic.
And it's like I'm only on the 2nd season, and I've been watching mad episodes every single day for like a week now, and I'm still on the 2nd season. It makes me miss like a bunch of episodes being in a season of television.
They used to be like 24.
Yeah. It used to be half a year worth of television.
Yeah.
And now you get 8 episodes, 10 episodes, 10 max.
10 max. And then you may get like 5 this year and then 5. Isn't that what they're doing with Power?
Yeah.
Like they split up the final season. Like, come on.
50 Cent's been doing that though, where he takes a little break in between, either halfway through the season or like before the last episode of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the logic in that is like you get the more people to stream the show that have been waiting, so that they can catch up and shit like that. But it does piss me. Like all these shows used to have so many episodes, and now we're getting 8 episodes. Like I think the new Penguin show is only getting like 8 episodes.
Oh wow, there's a new Penguin? I mean,
Yeah,
but there's a Penguin show.
it's a spin-off from the Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes place right after, or a little bit after the ending of the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, and it sets up the rest of the criminal universe.
Nice. I like Batman. He's my favorite guy.
Superhero.
Yeah, there we go. Superhero. So I might check that out.
The show itself, the acting is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, like world. Colin Farrell's really, he's him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to get into is the Apple TV TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
because they have bangers. Like Ted Lasso's a banger. I watched that. There's another show that I was watching on there that was pretty good, about like therapists or something like that. Oh, Shrinking. It's a pretty good show. But yeah, shout out to Rikishi.
Shout out to Rakesh and the Yeet Man becoming a new IC champ, man. He got this picture with Hunter.
That's a cool ass picture. You know, the mullet, kind of weird haircut. Now that I'm looking at it, but
Did you see the video of the young kid crying and celebrating Jay's win?
I did see that, and Jey or whoever's running the Usos Twitter account, because they like share socials, retweeted, said some words, some nice words to the kid, and I really appreciate that.
That's what it's all about, man.
Exactly. So,
man, if Shawn Michaels would have tweeted me back in the day, boy, I would have lost it. I would have fucking lost it.
Yo, if Batista on UPN, if UPN Batista would have tweeted me, that shit would be hanging on my wall right here.
Yeah,
right here. Yeah, we need Batista on the pod.
I'll try.
Thank you.
I will try.
Tell him we'll get him a lunchbox.
Hey, facts. That might be the way to get him on, if we can find something that he needs.
Yep. And we'll donate to an animal shelter.
Oh, he's big into that?
Yeah, he loves like animals and pit bulls and stuff like that.
What a switch up for him. Like, he went from this 300-pound monster to this dope suit wearing, animal loving movie star.
Yeah. Listen, Batista is legit just a great guy. Like, there was even a thing where I don't know if it was, he got a tattoo of like a friend's like logo or something like that, like, because they were, I don't know if it was an MMA or boxing, and he found out that the friend was against, I guess, gay people or something like that. And he just like covered up the tattoo and was like, yo, fuck that guy forever. Like, I'm not fucking with him. Like, Batista, very great, good morals.
Yeah, good morals.
Like, he's a solid person. So listen, tell him we'll donate to an animal shelter and get him a lunchbox, a BAT lunchbox. It'll have a 4 logo in there just in case.
Wow, look at the marketing. Look at the branding.
You feel me? The F on the hat, it doesn't stand for fear of God. It's 4 of Loco.
4 of Loco. And it also stands for Fanatics, our new sponsor.
I didn't want to, say that when I wasn't sure if we could, but you feel me?
Yeah,
I was thinking it.
We could have ended that.
All right. Listen, Fanatics, we're gonna announce the details of that deal soon.
Next week, our season premiere.
There we go. So next episode, we'll give you the details and talk about Fanatics. We got a lot of things in the tuck happening when Eve comes back. Cody return, possibly. Listen, me, Eve, Cody, we hung out for Eve's birthday on Saturday. His birthday wasn't Saturday. We were just hanging out for it. Conversations were had. Good conversations, by the way. It was a great night out. I didn't know that bowling alleys sold hookah and bottles, but only Eve could find out where these places exist.
He probably put up the sheetrock there, so
I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm trying not to drink anymore because on Friday I blacked out without intending on blacking out, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I went out on Saturday and I only drank water.
Good for you, Manny.
You feel me? I'm trying to calm it down. I'm not trying to be a party boy no more. I'm trying to be a lover boy. I'm trying to calm down, be inside, very very humble.
He say that, and then next week he's gonna be like in a festival somewhere.
Exactly. I got a Four Loko staring in my eyes right now.
Look at that.
Just chilling. But KP, I love this episode. It's one of my favorites. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jeff J.
Emmy Award winning.
All right, so shout out Jeff J. Emmy Award winning, sports bet winning. Shout out to Eve turning 30. He's officially one of the oldest people I know.
That's crazy.
Shout out Cody. Once again, is he on the way back? Shout out KP for holding it down. He's the anchor of this whole thing.
Is he on the way out?
Yeah, but listen, man, KP, just absolute solid dude. One of my favorite people ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, of course. Come on, you're absolutely hilarious. By the way, every time you'll just send the most random message, and I'm like, yo, this is amazing.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah, and that's the other problem. Like, I be responding in my head, and I'm like, I'm not gonna respond back now because it's dumb late. But
y'all see it. I mean, I don't expect anyone to respond when I'm up at 5 a.m. sending messages. I just figured y'all see it at a normal hour.
Yeah, I'm glad you understand.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the listeners too. Everybody tapping in. You see, my eyes are basically closing now, so that means we gotta hit the go home. So
for sure. Oh yeah, shout out the listeners, man. Like, thank y'all so much for the engagement last week. Like, I'm really happy and excited about that. Make sure y'all like the streams, the videos, comment, tell us how much we suck. Well, y'all have no problems with telling us how much we suck. But nah, fuck up. They're not here. We don't have to be. No. But yeah, man. Just continue to comment on the content. Really appreciate it.
All right, that's it.
Another good episode, Manny. Until next week.
I love it. Until next week, we're out of here.
Peace.